One of my favorite WCL matches of all time, just because due to the fact that it was so stressful, very high, very large competition, very difficult competition, well-known names all around. It was really difficult to win this one. I was kind of amazed due to the fact that Jacare pretty much beat me GP3, but I mean, we won, and that's what matters in the end. And so right now, me and Jacare are both reversing. I kind of was thinking that maybe I was going to be further back because I did the trick right. But Jacare, I guess he practiced it. He also mastered it. And so right now, we're both going back. Even though that jump is pretty difficult to do, I'm pretty amazed at Jacare's skills that he managed to get. And right now, he goes further behind than I am because he jumped faster than I do, and he's further behind, and he grabs the box and gets the shot. So right now I was really sad because I knew he got it. Jacare is amazing at getting it. I mean, I hate how people judge him as a poor player, but I think he's amazing. I really enjoyed playing against him. So I get the bill, I get another bill, and I use this bill to ram straight into Jacare. I'm not sure if I actually got him on his screen, but on my screen I definitely rammed him. But as always, I was unsure whether I actually did get him. And right now I pull a really huge mistake. I don't know what I was thinking by going forward. I should have reversed and went for a box. If I did hit Jacare and he did lose the shot, then I could use that reverse to get the shock during that time. And if I didn't hit Jacare and he still had the shock, I could still reverse and get a star and try to hit him. But I don't know, I guess I wasn't thinking right during the match, so I made a mistake there. And so I used this star to try and hit Jacare because I know he got it again if I did hit him, and if I didn't, then he still had it. And so Jacare is really cautious, and I missed him by so little. I promise, I swear I would have been so happy if I had gotten him. But I don't, and Jacare uses there, because Frenchie chains first set of boxes and gets like with a mega. He chains with a mega and gets like triple shrooms or something. And that really annoyed me. Well, it kind of didn't annoy me, it just kind of made me sad, the fact that Jacare first race in and Casey gets the shock, and they have like top 3 right now, and they have a nice breakaway. I don't know if you can tell from the minimap, but top 3 has a nice breakaway due to Jacare's shock, and it really pains me due to the fact that I think I'm pretty good at getting the shock, but Jacare is clearly a much better than I ever thought he was. And so right now I get the bill, spam it, I get thrown across the boxes, which doesn't help because during that time Jacare gets the second shock, and that really hurts me because see right now Jacare, he doesn't need to use it, so he of course shocks me after the boxes. He gets the bill himself and he uses it to overtake me, and he gets the 9th place position. Even though it's not very important, I felt really useless due to the fact that I didn't get both the shocks and the fact that Jacare gets 9th. That really made me feel useless, and Casey get top 3, and that's a really nice way for Casey to start the war. But unfortunately for them, their luck doesn't last too long, because I of course will try to get the shock and do manage to get it, fortunately. I mean, it kind of freaked me out, you'll see why. And so right now we're both reversing, and here's where I trick Jacare. I stop, let him touch a box just so that I won't get a box, and as luck would have it, he gets the bill. So I use this as an advantage to get further behind. Jacare's further ahead with the bill, used it. He now can't reverse as far as I am. And so I use this time to try and get the shock. I get the bill, which is really disappointing because I see Jacare during that time touching a box, wondering if he got the shock in 9th. I mean, it's possible. You know, it happens, and it always freaks me out. It's always something on the back of my head. So right now I wait for Jacare to touch a box, but he doesn't get the bill. I do. So that reinforces the idea of the fact that he might have the shock in 9th, and I start freaking out, touching more boxes just in case, get triple shrooms. But I see Jacare throw himself, and that reassures me that Jacare does not have it. It really helped me. You have no idea how unsure I was that I was going to get it. And so I see Jacare racing there, and I see him moving pretty. No, not. Yeah, he's moving pretty fast. So I assume that he might be using some power item. So during that time, I spammed 2 stars, and I was hoping for, dear God, that I would get it there. I get the bill. Jacare touches the box in 9th, and of course the same fear comes again. Did he get it in 9th? And so I freak out, go for a box, and just figure I won't get it, but I get it right there, and I was so happy because at least I managed to prove to Jacare that he can't just shotgun me and completely like stomp on me. I have to do something to counteract his skills. So right there, I managed to get it, and Sunny here, who's in second, and Sinks is in first, they assume that Frenchie and Shade have Shrooms in third and fourth just because it's Sunny's prediction, of course. And so Sunny predicts that they have Shrooms, so we shock there. And in fact, Shade and Frenchie did both have Shrooms, so it was a good decision. And Joe and Russo used their stuff, so they chained at the second set of boxes, so they got good items, but unfortunately for Sinks, they got an immediate blue and shot it at him. He got owned, so our race didn't go as well as it should have because we got the shock, but hey, at least two of us dodged. We stopped Frenchie and Shade from doing the cut, which is really important in preventing them from getting good positions. So we got top two and then a bunch of other good spots. And I got the shock, so right now I'm 1-1 with Jacare. I wouldn't count the second shock on N64 BC on his favorite just because it didn't really do much. It was just for fun to kind of overtake me kind of deal. And so I go forward to get an item just to make... I don't do it for any other purpose, it's just to check whether the bill is being held or not. Usually, if I don't get the bill, then I can assume that maybe they do have it, maybe they don't. But if I get the bill, I can for sure say that they don't have the bill. And so I go for a box in really quickly just because I know that I can abuse the fact that the box there takes forever to respawn. And so Jacare wouldn't be able to grab a box in the time that I was getting that box. And I pull a mistake there. I reversed too slow and I thought maybe Jacare got it there, but he didn't. He got a star and I go that to get rid of the bill, but it isn't enough because Jacare gets the shock there. And I don't realize this until he starts driving forward and I'm like... God damn it, he got it before I did. How could he? And so of course I tried to go over there, try to hit Jacare, but it's really difficult to hit someone who's being so precautious from the start. And so Jacare knows the tricks, he knows to be careful, he knows not to be idiotic, so he of course rams into the wall, goes backwards, and I have to go chase him down. But in that time, Jacare uses the shock, and so my efforts to try and hit him before he used the shock were useless and were kind of a waste of time. So Jacare uses that as an advantage. He's catching up. He gets shrooms, I'm assuming, and he overtakes me. So right now, even though there's not enough time, well, I guess you could say there's enough time for a second shock. So I do try to get one, like a second shock, but it proves to be a big waste of time. In fact, I don't really get anything useful. I get a star, triple shrooms. And I think I'm going to get it here, get the bill, and that's when I realized there's no way I'm going to get a second shock. And Jacare has been killing me with the shock, because every time I get the shock, he still gets ninth. And when he gets the shock, he still gets ninth. So that was really disappointing on my part, just because I felt like I failed my team, in all honesty. But at least the shock count right now is 1-2, so Jacare's only beating me by 1 point, so he's not completely raping me. It's just the fact that he's getting the 9th places, which might be helpful. And fortunately for us, Russo, who's beast that Coconut Ball, manages to save the race with the 1st place. And so right now is BC3, one of my favorite tracks to sandbag. I of course know this track, so I go wide just to avoid touching a box. Jacare instead rams straight into a box, and he gets lucky and doesn't get the bill. He gets shrooms, and he uses that to undertake me, I guess, get further behind. And I grab a box just because I feared on BC3 it's essential to be in last. It's one of those like where you have to be in last in order to get it. It's just something I've always thought of of BC3, I guess. And so right now I'm trying to go further behind. I almost trolled Shade on the way. I don't know if you saw that. Luckily I didn't. It was all lag. But Jacare, who's better at driving backwards, goes further behind than I do. But fortunately for he had the bill, so he had to throw himself off, and I used that time to avoid trolling, first of all, because I knew people were coming, and second of all, to kind of go further behind than he is. I don't know what Jacare was thinking there. I don't think he knows it's essential to be in last on BC3, so he's trying to get it in 9th, which is a big mistake, because right here I get it in last. And Jakari, I guess he got scared that I got it, so I kind of trick him here. I reverse just to make him think that I don't have it, and he uses his shroom to get further behind. But I go forward thinking that, oh, I tricked Jakari, I'll get ninth place now, even though I got the shock. So I'm really happy at this point, but it turns out that Jakari sees through my plan. He ends up trying to go and try and hit me, but he ends up getting ninth. So my trick didn't really help me at all. And so right now we have top two. I think Sphinx and Sunny in first and second. And I know Russo gets a mega at some point. I don't know what happens to it. I mean, I thought he took it through the shortcut. You'll see what I mean. It's because Russo's beast at the BC3 Ultra shortcut shroomless. And so I don't know if he's holding the mega still. I'm not sure. I know he got the mega some point. So B Russo tries the shortcut, he does it, shroomless, the new strat, which is really amazing. I gotta give him props for that. And I thought he still had his mega here. I guess I didn't hear anything. And so I made a huge mistake by thinking that, but Sphinx gets blued, so I say to use your stuff, but apparently Russo didn't have anything, so I didn't do anything other than cancel a blue shell. So it wasn't really helpful, but better than nothing, I guess. And so in the end, it ends up being the fact that Russo didn't dodge, but we still get good positions just because it prevented Sphinx from getting ready right after the blue shell. And Jakari gets ninth because he at least would want to do something, which is at least get ninth. So Sunny gets first, Sphinx third, and we get semi-decent overall points, so we end up winning first GP, I believe. And here's KC, one of my most it's another one of those what I call luck courses. And I know it sounds retarded to say luck course, but trust me, KC Coconut Mall, what's it called? KC Coconut Mall, Toad's Factory, there we go, are the three luck courses that I considered luck courses, just because you can't really reverse further than the first set of box, and it's all about who gets it first. So right now me and Jakari of course know the drill. Wait 30 seconds. I go for a box at 30 seconds just so that I can grab a box and quickly reverse. And instead of going for more boxes, I decided it would be more helpful to my team to drop a star there. And Sunny, who's around there, gets it. And I don't know if it helps so much, but hey, I mean, it's better than not getting a star for free. And so Jakari right here, he owns me because I don't know what I was thinking by reversing there. He star bashes me across the boxes, so he's in last place. During that time, I'm getting star bashed. And he gets the shock in that time, which was really stupid on my part. I don't know what I was thinking. That was my fault. And here Jakari plays the trick that I like to call the higher land trick, just because if say I reverse and I fall off the track, I can't really do much to Jakari because if I go forward to grab a box, that would be useless because I still have to go back, throw myself off in order to spawn on the higher land. And say I reverse, go for the box further back. Well, in that time, Jakari will of course know what I'm trying to do and he'll just go forward, so there's not much I can do. In essence, the higher land trick just helps you avoid getting hit while holding the shock. It's a great way to, like, I guess, prevent anything bad from happening because Jakari knows what he's doing. He's not an idiot. He's pretty good at it, in fact. I would say he's better than people thought. And so I gotta give Jakari props for his bagging skills. Well, if you consider them skills. Anyways, here, since I'm pretty much done for, I decided that the best thing I could do was to give a star to Russo, who's in first, because Russo's amazing. I love Russo. Sorry, it's just that Russo always saves the race for me. I will, every time I don't get it, Russo's in first. So I stay there to watch the star, because lately I've been noticing that when you drop a star and nobody's watching it, for whatever reason, it always ends up disappearing. I don't know why. It's just something I've noticed. So I decided to just watch it, just to be safe that it's still there by the time that Russo arrives, and he manages to pick it up. And Sphinx and Russo get top two, but unfortunately for Joe and Sunny, the shock kind of killed them. So KC managed to get a bunch of other positions that were also helpful to them. And so we get top two, but we only get 9th, 8th, and 7th. And lucky for me, at least I got 9th. At least I felt proud. And so, right, sorry about that. My parents came over, so I had to, yeah, ignore that part. So right now we're on BCWii. Jackady's beating me by one shock, of course. We were tied first GP, I would say 2-2, and he got the shock on Koopa Cape, so that's 2-3. And so we both fail at reversing here. Even though this is a pretty easy jump in my opinion, we both fail it. And so we both throw ourselves off there, but I'm the one that gets to spawn back there. Jackery fails, so I'd use this to as an advantage to go further behind and try and get the shock, of course. And of course I try to avoid trolling there. I wouldn't want to troll. That's the last thing I want to. So I go further behind. Jackery's failing that trick. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm not sure, but I use that as an advantage, and I grab a box here just to see what I get, and I get the shock, and I'm like, thank goodness. And so me and Jackery are tied shock count wise, and of course I won't let Jackery hit me. I'm gonna pull the same trick he pulled, higher land trick. Try and hit me, Jackery. I dare you. And so I wait for Jackery to go past the other ramp, just cause. Think about it like this: if Jackery were to reverse and throw himself off the course to get on the higher land, in order to get a box, he would have to reverse all the way back there, and that would not help him at all, because then he wouldn't get a good item. Okay. Sorry. Of course, my dad has to interrupt now of all times. It's because this is my second time doing this, because the first time it didn't record. And so right now I have the shock, and I don't know what I was thinking. I should have stayed behind the ramp. And Jackery, of course, sees this, so he's gonna wait for me, try and hit me, of course. And I'm really scared at this point because I made a mistake there. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm like scared, so I decide to use the other racers to kind of hide. But Jackery, of course, has no need to rush it, so he's waiting there for me. He's gonna start reversing to try and get me soon. So I was like, okay, let's risk it. I'm gonna go forward, see if he can hit me. And he uses his star there, and I almost scream in agony just there when I see that star. But he avoids hitting me, and I just drift there. And I'm like, please don't tell me he got another star. But he doesn't get shroom, so I use that to my advantage to go forward, and I'm like, drive faster, get away from him. Jackery's scaring me, of course, because he's clearly trying to hit me, so I'm like, oh, please tell me he's not gonna hit me. So I use the shock there. Sunny and Joe dodge. Russo, who's in first, and I think Sphinx was in second, so Sunny chains a good item, so he gets third. But unfortunately for Joe, he chains a terrible item, which doesn't help him at all, so he ends up getting seventh, I think. But luckily for me, I end up getting ninth, which is a good victory because Jackery's been getting the ninth place, and at least when I got the shock, at least I got one ninth, which is really helpful. And so right now we got top 3, which is really helpful, thank goodness. So right now we're starting the next race. It's DDR, and here's where I do a gamble. I'd call it the DDR gamble, I guess. And I wouldn't have done it if it weren't for the fact that Sunny said, let's do it, and I do it. And the DDR gamble consists of trying to get the shock in ninth. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's just something I love doing. It's one of the riskiest strats I know, but for whatever reason, has worked consistently at times. And so Jackery here is where he makes my vital mistake. I don't know if you see him, he went forward and grabbed the box at 29 seconds. That was his mistake. He got the bill in that time. I guess he was afraid of he was going to troll or something, but he went forward, and I used that to my advantage, and of course, I get the shock in ninth. And that's what I call a success. I was so happy. You should have seen how happy I was in the war call. I was like, thank you, Sunny. I wouldn't have done it without you. I mean, I kind of like the fact that Sunny guides me towards the right direction. I always feel like he's always doing the right calls. And so Jackery here, so I bet he was probably freaking out, wondering why am I not getting the shock, and he keeps getting bills consistently. And I know if I were him, I would be pretty frustrated at this. I would be annoyed at the fact that someone got the shock in ninth, and without actually, like, bagging, like you could say. I mean, I'm still far behind. It's just the fact that I thought maybe I could get a position, you know, steal like an 8th and they could get bottom 2, but it turns out to be a big waste of time to do the DDR gamble because I don't really gain anything from it. And so Sunny uses a star, so we wait for one of their megas to end because they activated a mega, and then we shock, which turns out to be helpful because Sunny gets second, but we didn't do much with that, and they still get first, which is really disappointing. But oh well, it worked out in the end, and I thought maybe, oh, well, look at that guy. Maybe I'll get 8th. but nah, doesn't turn out to be as good. I end up still getting ninth. So what I called a DDR gamble ended up failing massively. So that was really disappointing. And so I get ninth here. But at least I got the shock, and I'm beating Jackery by one shock. And so that to me was a huge victory. And now we go on to Toad's Factory. And you know what I call the little courses: Coconut Walk, Koopa Cape, and Toad's Factory. And of course, I don't know what I was thinking, and of course I don't get it. I don't know. Jackery must be better at them, because Jackery gets some on both on all three of them: Coconut Mall, Koopa Cape, and this one. Jackery gets them. See, the reason they're luck courses is, of course, I already said, you can't go further behind in the first set of boxes. Why did I say boxes? I don't know. So right now we're both. I see Jackery ahead, so I think maybe I'm in last. Maybe it'll register me in last. And so right now I'm like, oh, please don't tell me he got in last. So I'm like, oh, well, he's in ninth right now using the star. So I'm like, maybe he'll accidentally troll, but he's careful. Jackery's no idiot. So right now we're both trying to get it, and I don't know what I was thinking there. I go for a box in ninth, quickly shoom behind him, but that's not enough to stop Jackery because we both go for a box. He gets star bashes me, and I'm guessing during that split second that he was in last, he got it because I made a huge mistake of shooming towards the diagonal angle instead of the other direction. And see, the point is to grab all the boxes and then quickly reverse into last, so that therefore, in order for Jackery to try to get the shock, he has to try and get it in ninth, I mean, not in last. And so Jackery gets the shock there, so I'm like, no, how could he? There's nothing, there was no bill, no one got the bill. And so that really, I mean, when you know that there's the bill being held, you play differently. Jackery gets redded there, and I could have star bashed him, but I failed. And so I tried to get an item here, I get a star, try to hit him, but I miss him. And so Jackery, of course, uses the shock there, because Frenchie uses his mega, chains something good, and then he gets the bill. So he's in a good spot of getting ninth, and I pretty much wasted my whole entire race right there to get nothing. And so KC did really well this race because Jackery did a nice shock. It helped Frenchie chain a good item and then get reds to hit one of our players. And so right now we're like, how could this happen? So we're racing. I mean, Jackery gets the bill, and that's where my race ends. He gets ninth place, and I'm like, well, at least we tied the shock count. We ended up being 4-4 at the end of second GP, so that was nice, and at least we won the second GP as well. So thank you for watching. If you want to see GP3, ask Jack.